This week on the Stampede, the Ponies' home opener lights up the boulevard with new fans and some old heroes. The players take a break for some fresh perspective on football. And the UTEP Miners visit Ford Stadium to battle the Mustangs. The SMU Mustangs hit the practice field early Tuesday morning, determined to put this year's motto, 1 week at a time, into play.
I think we're heading in the right direction. You know, we just have to take it one game at a time. And, you know, we all, like I said, this win this week is going to be real big for us in terms of bouncing back. So we really need to get a win. We desperately need a win.
The team was coming off a loss to the Texas A&M Aggies, but quickly turned their focus to this week's opponent, conference rival, University of Texas at El Paso.
They have athletic DBs, you know, defensive backs. I think the corners can run a little bit, but I think we're just gonna handle it, you know, the same way we've been handling everything. Just kind of go by what we see. Whatever they play is kind of what we'll go off of in terms of what we run, and we're just kind of preparing for those guys like anybody else. So,
well, they're you know, definitely they can be a tricky team. We have to get after them, and their offensive line is different. It's going to be different this week than it was last week. They had a couple of guys out with injuries.
What a difference a week makes. Head coach June Jones announced that senior J.J. McDermott would be the starter against UTEP.
J.J.'s going to start, and Kyle will get some time in the game too. J.J. made some plays, and we didn't help him very much, you know. I thought he made some good throws. I thought he saw the field pretty good. You know, and he stood in there and took his shots, and that's what you got to do at quarterback.
J.J. saw time in 4 games last year. He remains confident despite this being his first start for the Mustangs.
I'm excited about it, but I mean, you can't let all that get to your head, you know, and you really just got to go out there and play. I mean, you just start thinking about other stuff, you're just gonna kind of do yourself in, I think. So I'm just gonna try and keep it as normal as possible.
Coach Jones said Kyle Padron would share playing time with J.J. McDermott against UTEP. Many see similarities between the two quarterbacks.
I think they can both get the job done. I think they're both really good quarterbacks and do what they do really well. They both worked really hard, so I respect them both equally. I think they're both very good quarterbacks. And you know, whoever comes in there and starts at quarterback, I think they'll get the job done just fine.
Another bright spot from the A&M game was number 18, receiver Terrence Wilkerson, who led the receiving corps with 6 catches for 85 yards. He sees an opportunity for redemption this week.
I think that we'll get a lot of chances to pass, and which we throw the ball anyway, but I think that we'll be a lot more effective than we were last week against A&M this week. And just because of the coverage that they run really favors our offense. So I think that we'll get a lot of big plays in the passing game this week.
Wilkerson is making somewhat of a personal comeback himself this season after sitting out all last year.
I know where I came from last year, not being on the field, and it really felt good to get back out there. I think that it was a little bit of rust, but just to get my feet wet again, it felt really good.
Playing at home in Ford Stadium should be a big plus for the Mustangs, but nothing in this game comes easy.
You know, you have a lot of guys who are a lot more comfortable playing in front of a home crowd. You know, the routines are, you know, back to the same. You know, especially early in the season, people have to ease their way into it. So playing at home is definitely an advantage for us.
Both offense and defense are focused on the keys to beating UTEP.
I think just play our game. I mean, if we go out there and play like we know how to, I think we can go out there and compete, beat most anybody.
We really just have to, you know, get back to our style of football, especially defensively. You know, we need to be physical. We need to limit their big plays. You know, that's what UTEP really thrives off of, is their big plays. And we need to get off the field on 3rd downs. You know, UTEP is a very explosive team, and we know we need to be able to bottle them up and contain them. And like I said, get back to our style of football, and that's being physical.
They're going to try to establish the running game early, and then if they can't get the running game going, then they're going to throw the ball all over the field. And I would anticipate that's probably how it's going to go. You know, try to run the ball on us early. If they can't do that, then they're going to get into 4 wide receivers and try to throw it all over the place.
Just take care of ourselves, take care of the ball, take care of our decisions, take care of our throws, and just take care of us. And once we take care of us, then we're all right. They have a very fast defense. It's very well coached. They do some. They don't do a lot of complicated things, but I think that plays into who they are. They do things correctly. They do it fast. So we have to be really on our game. And the kids been working real hard all week to make sure we're okay.
Senior safety Chris Banjo is an Ironman and a team leader. He started every game in his sophomore and junior years and has always been a vocal leader on the field and off. We sat down with him to get his thoughts on this year's team, how his studies affect his football career, and how he prepares for game day. First, what do you like best about playing safety?
Safety is a great position. I tend to give a lot of guys on the defense a hard time, trying to tell them that it's the hardest position on the field. But it is a real demanding position in terms of, you have to be kind of a quarterback back there in terms of making sure everybody's on the same page. You have to be able to come down and hit like a linebacker, but in certain situations be able to cover like a corner. So it is a very physical, demanding position. But it's real fun to play back there. You get to see everything and different things of that. So it's a real nice thing to do back there.
What does it take to bounce back after a loss?
It's one snap and clear. That's what motto we really go by, is one snap and clear. No matter whether the week before, the play before, the game before, whatever you want to call it, no matter how bad or how good it may have been, you have to forget about it. It's on to the next one. It's all about focusing and refocusing. So it's all about the next one. You have to take care of what's in front of you right now.
Tell us about some upcoming defensive standouts you see on this year's team.
It's tough to say with just it being one game, but Kenneth Acker, he came into a starting role. He did pretty well as far as first game, especially against the 8th ranked team in the country. So far, it seems that he's done a great job. His mind is there. He's real focused, and we haven't missed a beat in terms of bringing him in. So I'm really excited to see the growth he's going to make throughout the season, game by game, and see how he's ready to help the defense win. You got Randall Joyner, who's really getting involved and feeling his way in now. You got Kevin Pope, who really came in and is ready to contribute right away. So and as the season goes on, you'll have a lot more guys who blossom to their roles. So it's been exciting already to see those 3 guys really step in and be ready to contribute already. Another new guy was Victor Jones. He really from going last year as a scout team player to a starter this year, did a tremendous job in his first game, against Texas A&M. He did a real good job on holding up his point and being physical at his point of attack. And the future is real bright for him.
How was your off season?
Off season was brutal. Coach Mel, our strength coach, does a great job in terms of preparing us for the conditions we're going to play in, whether that be running sprints or conditioning or lifting real hard in the weight room, doing different maxes, different type of explosive work. So he did a real great job in terms of preparing us. I also put in some extra time on my own, in terms of whether that be extra stretching or just different things I felt like I needed to work on from a physical standpoint. So off season was real brutal, but at the same time real rewarding in terms of what I was able to get out of it.
You gave a pep talk to the players earlier this week. What did you tell them?
It was really just briefly saying, we need to get back to our style of football. We need to, everybody needs to be on the same page. It's all about buying into the program that Coach Jones is trying to build, and that's trying to get everybody on the same page, getting everybody to do the right thing for the team, doing what's best for the team. So whatever that may be, whether that may be getting in the weight room, getting extra film time, just making sure everybody's going all out every day for the success of the team.
What do you study at SMU?
I'm a major in APSM, that's Applied Physiology and Sports Management, with an emphasis on sports management. And the academic side of it is really going well, especially being an athlete. I get to, majoring in sports management, I get to look deeper than just an athlete's perspective in terms of, why we do a couple of the things we do in terms from a marketing perspective, how they try to advertise different things during games. Probably something I shouldn't be focused on, but during it is nice to see sometimes during the games when I get a quick moment to see, more than just football, more than just playing football. I actually get to see, the different tactics and different things like that our athletic department uses. It's a lot. It really just showed, opened my eyes to there's a lot more than just the actual game. Especially, how times are evolving now. There's a lot more to the actual just game in terms of advertising, sales, just a lot of different things that really go into to make the whole game atmosphere the best they could possibly be. At the same time, when it's all said and done, I love the game of football. So it's easy just to block all that simple stuff out and just get back to, doing what we've been doing all week in terms of practice and, just getting back to do what I love.
Thursday night, several SMU Mustangs took a break from their busy schedule of practice, meetings, film room, and study to visit the Ronald McDonald House in Dallas.
Ronald McDonald House of Dallas is a home away from home for seriously ill and injured children. Our families have to live at least 40 miles away from our local area hospitals. And they come and they stay. Maybe it's an overnight visit for a well checkup, or they could be with us for an extended period of time.
The visit gave the team fresh perspective.
Bingo!
The players played bingo, handed out T-shirts, but best of all, spent quality time with the kids at the house.
Here we go. Our first number is B3. B3 is our first number.
The visit had just as strong an impact on the players and coaches as it did for the kids they were visiting.
It's real fun. We played bingo tonight. I called the numbers. We gave some prizes away. It was a good time. Good job. Day in and day out, you get to go on the practice field. You get the opportunity to go out there and have a great time. A lot of guys see that as, I gotta get up, I gotta do this, but you get to, and this is one of those things that reminds you that you get to do these things, and some people don't. So it's a good wake-up call, and yet, it's a good thing for us to do, to keep us a little bit grounded, see where we're at.
JJ and Kyle better watch out, man. He gonna come take the spot over there.
Just looking in their faces, seeing, that, people really want to, interact with them, something they don't get to see on a regular basis, SMU football players, people that are twice, 2-3 times their size, it's fun to interact with them on the same level. Everybody's having fun up here, and, it's been a great time.
It was so awesome, wasn't it? She couldn't wait. She came down just to see them. She was so excited.
We're eternally grateful to all the groups and organizations that take the time to come in and visit with our guest families. And we're eternally grateful that we're able to offer this home for these children who are sick and their families. We couldn't do it without the generous support of our community and the folks like SMU.
Friday morning, the SMU campus was abuzz with the unveiling of the R. Gerald Turner Centennial Quadrangle, a 1.5-acre square in the middle of campus.
Well, today's ceremony is the ribbon cutting and dedication of the Gerald Turner Centennial Quadrangle that includes the Gerald and Gail Turner Centennial Pavilion and the Bill and Susan Cooper Centennial Fountain. That whole area is the geographic representation and celebration of the university celebration during its centennial. It commemorates the opening of the university, the founding of the university in 1911 and the opening in 1915. So this entire centennial period celebrates the great past of SMU, but more importantly, we're here in Centennial Hall today where we not only honor that past, but we open up this, if you will, visitor center, Centennial Hall, that will give the great highlights of the past, but really feature the aspirations of the university as we enter our second century. As SMU looks to the future, as we point toward our aspiration to be among the very best universities in the country. There's one feature of Centennial Hall, and if you're near campus, come to the lower level of the Hughes Trigg Campus Center and see Centennial Hall. It's open to the public. One feature, though, is a place where people make their predictions for the second century of SMU. All the way from we would be among the top 10 universities, ranked universities in the country, that we would have 3 national championships in football sometime during these next 100 years. There is no doubt that those that care about SMU have graduated here. Even if they haven't graduated, they've adopted SMU. They are very, very optimistic about our future.
It's game day, As the team prepares inside the stadium, outside the stadium, friends and fans of the Mustangs gather for a yearly tradition, a party on the boulevard.
Go Mustangs!
Pony fans arrive early and as excited as ever. Some in the crowd are more than just fans. SMU football royalty is on hand as well.
It looks really good. I'm excited for the program. The campus is more beautiful than I thought it was when I left. Met my wife here. That's one good thing. Got my degree and got a wife and 2 kids out of the deal. So Ron did me good, okay?
Kyle's done a great job, but JJ got a lot of talent, and you know, you never know. It's a long season. They both are going to get a chance to play. So,
Coach Ron Meyer, who'd led the team to a conference title in 1981, was there to celebrate a new era of Mustang football.
Look at this. I mean, you know, look at that helmet down there. It's just fabulous. I think from President Turner on down, and of course I love June Jones. I think he's the right answer, and they got a great young football team. It's just going to get better, and I'm proud of them.
SMU was on their way to another huge opener, with more support and optimism than they've seen since the glory days of the Pony Express. The SMU Mustangs home opener against UTEP at Ford Stadium on the SMU campus in Dallas has finally arrived.
We can't turn the ball over, and we need to do the things that we've been doing and practice correctly and don't do them wrong in the game.
Questions of who will make passes swirl around the stadium, but it is the ground game that kicks off this season's home opener.
Off is to Zach Line. He's going to dance left, cut back right at the 40-45. Slips a tackle there to midfield. Cuts right at the 45.
The 40-yard run leads to a quick SMU touchdown, putting the momentum squarely in the Mustangs' favor. Yet, after an SMU interception is called back on the very next drive, UTEP is given new life and comes back to even the score.
Tackle and strolls into the end zone. Touchdown, Leland Myers.
Hey, fellas, we're fine, okay? They got one run on us. We had us pressure on, and they haven't decreased it. No big deal. And they got one pass, okay? So they got 2 plays out of 6 or 8 that they ran it. Let's just stay together, keep playing hard. The ball's going to bounce in our favor, okay? Just keep playing hard.
The very next drive yields just what SMU was hoping to avoid in this game, turnovers.
50 that he fumbles the football, and it is picked up by Derek Morgan for UTEP. Morgan's going to be tackled at the 49.
Coach Jeff Reinbold steps into action on the sideline.
If the guy walks up on you and you're not sure, just minimize your split. And if you need to widen off the ball, then if you soften up.
The turnover leads to a UTEP field goal, putting the Mustangs at a 10-7 disadvantage early in the game. But a big play to Darius Johnson puts SMU back into scoring position.
And he'll be tackled at midfield, a 30-yard gain.
And Coach June Jones calls quarterback Kyle Padron's number for the first time in 3 quarters.
Thrown on the keeper and touchdown for SMU.
SMU gets the ball back quickly, and quarterback J.J. McDermott lights up the field, throwing 6 passes for 79 yards. On a drive that ends with Zach Line's second TD of the night.
Touchdown SMU! Zach Line runs this one in from 7 yards out, his second touchdown tonight.
UTEP fights back and sets up for a field goal with 30 seconds remaining in the half. But 6'8" kick blocking master Margus Hunt has other ideas.
Warning is blocked by Margus Hunt. Ball free, and
it was Hunt's 7th field goal block of the year, putting him within reach of the NCAA record by just 1 block. The Mustangs leave the field at halftime in control, leading 21-10.
I put you in a spy a couple times on that last series because I thought he was going to give me the screens on it. But looks to me like we're getting a little bit of full protection here with the back block in the end, or the edge man on the line of scrimmage. Play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Defense, we have got to get the quarterback, okay? Get to the quarterback. Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate!
The second half turned into a struggle for the Ponies on their very first drive.
To the 32, ball comes out, it's picked up by the Miners, running it back to the 15.
On the second to last snap, right, we got to get more movement on that play side.
That's
how the guy slammed. That's how the guy slammed you. But if that happens, you got to step, and instead of stepping flat, you got to step and gain ground on it and get on that play side shoulder, right? If you keep going down front side, you got to drive him and get vertical with the backside guy.
UTEP scored on the ensuing drive, making it a game again at 21-17. And it was then that the game turned into an offensive grind. Then, in the fourth quarter, with UTEP driving deep into SMU territory, the Mustangs faced their first big test of the season. Giving up a touchdown and a lead this late in the game would be a huge setback this early in the season. The team needed a big play from the defense, and one of the biggest players on defense was ready to step up and make the play.
Ball with a shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Pressure, batted down and intercepted. Picked off by Jagger Davis. What a pass batted by Grenier. He's running right to the 35, to the 40. He's pulling away from the tackler until he's finally stopped at the 45-yard line.
UTEP had a final chance to come back with a few minutes left, but Jagger Davis was there again to make the big play.
Jay Hall under center, 5-step drop, and he has the ball batted out of his hands. Touchdown! SMU! Jagger Davis!
Finally got him one. That's the 3rd series in a row where he's gotten his hands around the ball.
The touchdown sealed the game, and the Mustangs came away with what they wanted, a notch in the win column in their first conference game. It was a game where all 3 phases contributed, with the offense putting up points early, special teams making a huge play, and the defense finishing off the game for the win.
We know we had to come up with a stop, but no, defense knew we had to come up and make a play to save the game. So I seen him cock it back. I went for the ball. I just so happened to knock it out. I scooped and fell on him. Took the pressure off our back, offense back, took pressure out the fans and the coaches back. So just made it relax and take a deep breath.
Davis's intense play in the game earned him Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week honors. His stat line was audacious: 8 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for a loss, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception, 3 pass breakups, and the touchdown that sealed the game.
It was a good game for us because we had to bounce back and fight hard. So it really it helped us out a lot. We know that we could knuckle down when we need to and get off the field. So when our offense has a bad day, we have to have a good day and vice versa.
It was wild. You know, that's Conference USA, though. Every game goes down to the end, and Jagger came up big with that turnover touchdown there to seal the game. Overall, it's hard enough in this game. Yeah, you take a win any way you can get it.
The journey continues next week when the Mustangs play Northwestern State at home.
Mustangs!